Hi, I'm Cameron. I don't just read comics. Sometimes I watch the television shows based on them. On today's episode of Cameron Reads Comics, I'm talking about The Penguin on Max, starring Colin Farrell. I don't know if this is Penguin Season 1, but it's the mini-series Penguin. It's episodes 1 through 8. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so for accessibility, this takes place in the Batman universe, directed by Matt Reeves. It takes place 1 week after the events of The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, and everything that happens here is hopefully going to interact with the rest of the Batman universe, taking place in between movie number 1 and movie number 2. I think it's the only thing we're going to get before Batman number 2. So, and the main comic influences, in my opinion, are Batman Dark Victory and Jeff Loeb's Batman universe. Okay, The Long Halloween is the most influential Batman story cinematically, in my opinion. The Dark Knight and the Batman are both based on that story, but I think this one is so specifically based in the sequel, Batman Dark Victory. Specifically, this is shown in like Sofia Gigante, the Hangman. That is straight up the villain of Dark Victory. So you should go check out that book. Go read everything they do. It's loosely based on it. Falcones versus the Maronis, them fighting, that's all from that book. Johnny Vitti in the show from Batman Dark Victory and Jeff Loeb's Long Halloween. So go read Jeff Loeb's Batman with Tim Sale. It's amazing. And then I think when it comes to the HBO of it all, I think this show is also so influenced by The Sopranos. It's kind of hard to neglect that comparison. The trajectory of Oz Cobb versus that of Tony Soprano is captured so well through the series. They're doing what they do for their mother, who doesn't love them. They're trying to become king of the world, trying to take over the crime scene. It's just on a silver platter. Two crime families at war with one another. It's just, writing's on the wall, okay? Okay, so now for the story. This show is about the aftermath of Gotham after the events of The Batman. And Penguin is now trying to make a play for power because Carmine Falcone is dead. It's the story of him making his own way for himself alongside his new sidekick, an original character to the show, Victor Aguilar, and building a life for himself and his mother. So, for the characters in the series, Carmine Falcone, the head of the Falcone crime family and father of Sofia Gigante and Alberto Falcone. He's in it in flashbacks. He's in the Batman movie, played by John Turturro, and then he dies. Then there's Salvatore Maroni, leader of the Maroni crime family. He's played by Clancy Brown, the voice of Lex Luthor in Superman and Justice League, the animated series. He absolutely crushes it. He does a great job. Sofia Gigante, the Hangman, played by Kristen Milioti, daughter of Carmine Falcone, sentenced to 10 years in Arkham, so she turns on her family. It's the story of her vengeance against her family. Then there's Victor Aguilar, a new character, sidekick to the Penguin. Really interesting, whose backstory gets explored greatly. Him stepping foot into this crime world to pursue stability is done amazingly well. Okay, and his relationship with Colin Farrell, absolutely incredible. I just think this is necessary viewing for everyone who watches Batman. You guys don't even need me to do a review on this because I'm sure you watched it. But I guess the question now is like, how did I like it? I loved it. I think that Warner Brothers' greatest strength is, besides DC Comics, is something like HBO. I mean, we've seen Marvel now struggle in the television space. HBO has dominated the television space for years, giving us the greatest TV shows of all time again and again. Them taking the time to do a DC character justice and just take them seriously is shown here perfectly. I think when you treat these comic book characters very seriously, like, you get really great results. I think Sony struggles with that. I think Marvel is now currently struggling with that. DC does not struggle with that. Make the Penguin Kingpin. Make the Penguin mayor. The one thing that I do have a problem with is this kind of era we're living in where these adaptations are afraid to copy their source material. I don't like him being named Oz Cobb. I like him being Oswald Cobblepot. I don't think that's very silly. I don't like the Riddler being named Edward Nash and not Edward Nygma. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, there's a guy that dresses up like a bat we're talking about. So his villains can be animated. I don't think they should be afraid. I think they should embrace it, because you wouldn't have the show if there wasn't this character. And if you did, call it something else, you know? That's one of the critiques I have for this show. But I do like it. It leaned more into take the character seriously, give it a real backstory. What is Oswald's origin? What made him who he is, and how does that propel him forward? How does that affect who he is now? How do the actions of his past come back to haunt him in this series? Those explorations I thought were really great. And also, how does he do with this new kid? What is his relationship as a mentor? What does he look like, you know? Is there a place for this kid in Gotham to like come up in his empire? All these ideas were explored really, really well. I thought it was so powerful. I also think that Kristen Milioti as the Hangman was one of the better villains we've had in the DC universe. I thought her motivations and the exploration of what made her who she is was done really, really well. And also, for my biases, I am just a sucker for a mobster movie. Love Goodfellas. My comfort movie is Casino. All those tropes, the whole familial dynamic, I love. I'm a sucker for it. So I thought that doing that was awesome. I'm glad it happened. So yeah, that's what I thought. Now for the rating, I'm going to give this show a 9.3 out of 10. Why not a 10 out of 10? Is because you can't do a Batman villain show without having Batman show up. A lot of stuff happened in this series that should have like Batman show up for, and then they didn't. Or at least in the last episode, the last scene of the last episode, Batman should be like, I know what you did. And he didn't show up. So that was one thing that left me wanting more. But otherwise, that's 0.7 minus. Otherwise, I did everything so well. Anyways, I'm Cameron, and I just read comics. I love them. Did you watch this? Go tell me about it in the comments. See you guys next time.